I can't believe I'm still on doppelganger watch duty. And we're a whole bookstore filled with books.
Even if they're being used as seating because the shelves have been smashed up for kindling. But yeah, I feel you.
I could be reading right now. If I was any more bored, I'd be putting a literal hole in my head.
What, like they did in the end of Life of Pi?
Don't you mean Darren Aronofsky's Pi?
What's the difference?
Yes, exactly like that.
Ooh, I have a drill. Oh, can I help?
Whoa. Chill out, you guys. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm pretty sure she's being facetious. I hope she is.
Facetious.
Back off. Put the drill down.
Aww.
Put it down. Okay, fine. Give it to me.
Did I hear correctly that trepanning was back in vogue again? Huzzah!
Nope. Clean the wax out of your ears and get back to cataloging books.
Well, back in my day, a lad took pride in the hole in his head. Now it's all germ theory, this and evidence-based that.
I meant that I just can't believe I'm in hour 4 of sitting here watching our evil twins. They're not even doing anything worth watching. I didn't sign up for voyeurism.
You joined a cult dedicated to watching movies. Isn't that more than a tad voyeuristic? I say, embrace my, I mean, your voyeuristic tendencies.
It's surveillance, not voyeurism.
Potato.
Potato.
There is literally a hole in the wall where we can see it all.
There's a place in France where the naked ladies dance.
No singing.
Oh.
This is unbelievable. The whole strip mall got rebuilt. Okay, fine, this time as a mall. But my bookstore got rebuilt too. And the first thing you idiots do is tear it apart and turn it into a motherfucking pit of despair.
Of course. It was completely lacking in the proper aesthetic.
Oh, you and your goddamn aesthetic. What's aesthetic about this?
It's all part of the post-apocalypse/urban decay/liminal space aesthetic popularized by retrofuturist artist Simon Stillenhag. It's wildly popular with the kiddies, or didn't you know?
Did I hear someone say post-apocalypse?
Call that fair? 'Cause I don't.
That's just life, I guess.
Life. Don't talk to me about life.
Oh, fine. Go sulk about it. Professor Andrea, just another 4 hours in your shift on the stool of observation. Trademark. Stiff upper lip.
Yeah, we have to keep careful watch of how and when they inevitably start mutating into super science flesh freaks.
Doppelgangers are wont to do that, as anybody who's seen the 1993 film of the same title knows.
The one with Drew Barrymore? I'm picturing something more like the climax of Brian Usna's Society from 1989.
Nuh-uh, you're not tricking me into that a second time.
Society? Ugh. That's another one for the hazardous materials vault, all right.
Wait. Brian Usna, you say. Super science flesh freaks, you say. That gives me an idea. Nobody move. I'll be right back.
Should we be worried?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yes!
Within the depths of the mysterious Mall of Misery lies a derelict bargain bookstore long since shuttered. Past the vacant aisles, empty save for shards of broken crockery. On the floor amongst the shelves that once housed volumes since plundered by cultists and criminals, a secret society assembles to scrutinize those films which are rumored to drive viewers to madness and dissolution. Draw closer, dear listener. Let your trembling ears sup upon the eldritch knowledge of the Cinemania Society.
We the fellows of the Lenses Hall do convene to judge if our cinema worthy of our esteem, or whether it should cast down worthless hokum. Let us start our friends' judgment.
We the fellows... Oh.
Welcome, irascible iconoclasts, to this conclave of the Cinemania Society. Please be seated. And welcome to our listeners, to whom I will now issue this warning. We, disciples of the Cinemania Society, have studied the mysteries of the motion picture and meditated upon the silver screen for many years. Therefore, we have become inured to the films we scrutinize, which may contain hazards unsuitable to young and sensitive ears. As such, we advise anyone listening to do so with discretion. Guard your ears carefully, lest you develop a severe and irreversible case of cinemania. Present tonight at our conclave are...
Scrutinizer Zachariah, guardian of the door.
Profligator Daniel, possessor of the word.
Auntie Hope, keeper of the books and the booze.
Professor Andrea, scholar of San Francisco.
Verifier Andy, master illuminator.
Not present at our conclave tonight is Arbiter Alessa, voice from the outer world, likely foraging for freegan fodder at the food court.
Hope we don't end up with any floor scores this time.
Kidding.
I hate getting floor dirt in my food. I am Sinquisitor Ethan, maven of the montage.
Wait, didn't you used to be keeper of the lenses?
Yeah, but I had to hawk the lens kit to buy our Cinemania mobile.
Is that what you call the minivan parked out back where we're having to sleep in shifts?
Well, you can't deny it is cozy.
Nobody's had a shower in a week.
Ah, come on. A sponge bath in the public bathrooms is just as good.
No, it's not.
It's not.
At least we have somewhere to sleep at all. That's a marked improvement.
The Honda Odyssey fucks hard. The seats fold all the way back.
Hold it. Why are we doing a conclave when you said we have to, quote, maintain a constant vigil against those evil usses?
That doesn't sound anything like me, and I absolutely insist we do our duty. Besides, we won't be interrupting our ceaseless vigil over our doppelgangers. Not for long, at any rate. Just as soon as I put the finishing touches on this device.
This better not be another pair of vibrating binoculars.
I'll have you know those were visionary, unappreciated in their own time. But no, this is an altogether different scrying device. I got the idea from a movie we should have conclaved a long time ago.
Since when was conclave a verb?
Since I started verbing nouns.
Verb isn't a verb either.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato.
Anyhow, it's time to unveil. Tonight's film is from 1986.
More 80s movies? Jeebus H. Cripes.
There's 80s movies, and then there's this movie. It's a cinematic masterwork.
Nightmare.
Produced by Brian Yuzna and directed by Stuart Gordon. From Beyond.
Wasn't there an H.P. Lovecraft short story by that name?
Indeed. This film is Yuzna and Gordon's second cinematic tribute to Lovecraft.
All right, I'll be a master castigator for this one.
Read the list of charges.
Charges against the film From Beyond include willful abuse of Jeffrey Combs, negligent misuse of Barbara Crampton, flagrant overuse of latex makeup appliances and KY jelly, misrepresentation of the leather fetish community, hardcore forking, keeping a fleshworm monstrosity in a private domicile without a license, exceeding Cronenbergian limits on body horror.
Not to mention the wrong color on the tighty whities.
Real trigger warnings include verbal abuse, physical abuse, medical abuse, and sexual abuse.
Sexual assault.
Sexual assault.
Thank you. Who's going to begin our summary?
I'll do it. Anything to get away from the peephole for a few minutes. I think I'm starting to get eye strain.
That's that what the vibrating binoculars are for? Maybe they'd help out.
Start reading while I prepare my devices. Oh, the devices. Meanwhile, we must still monitor the peephole. Hope, it's your turn on this stool of observation. Trademark.
Please stop saying stool.
One of you guys needs to do it. I have far more important things to do. Like get absolutely plastered on peppermint schnapps. Hello, Rumplemints. Goodbye, sobriety.
Oh, God. Schnapps.
evil.
It tastes
Here
just
we
as bad
go.
going down as it
Every
does
bloody
coming
time.
up.
They used to call it the turquoise Satan.
Fine. I can't do this without fortification. Pour me a shot of that evil stuff. Hello, minty, minty doom.
I mean, at least we'll all have fresh breath.
We open on Crawford Tillinghast, played by sprightly young Jeffrey Combs, hard at work in an attic that's been converted into a laboratory. Tillinghast sports an Angora sweater so plush Ed Wood would have been green with envy, or possibly pink. Banks of equipment that look more suited to a nuclear power facility ring a towering confection of electrical doodads crowned with a blue glass sphere and 4 massive tuning forks. This is, or so we will soon learn, the Resonator, after some screen grabs of mysterious multicolored CRTs.
And if you look real close, if you were the kind of person who would freeze frame a high definition print of this movie and zoom in and read the screen.
If you were that kind of lunatic.
And
and if you did,
you
you would see it is actually a readout of the printer drivers.
You like weird things,
it's just literally
man.
the instructions on how to load the paper.
PC load letter.
Not the only load we'll be seeing in this movie.
Boy. You like weird things, man.
You might say that I have a driver's taste in film.
Tillinghast throws a big guillotine switch.
The most cinematic of switches.
And with a glow of violet light, the Resonator hums to life. Crawford is now able to see a strange violet-hued eel-like life form swimming circles around one of the tuning forks. He leans in for a closer look, and suddenly the thing surges at his face and latches onto his cheek.
When an eel from beyond of your cheek becomes fond, that's amore.
No
singing.
Also, it looked more like a lamprey.
Agonized, Crawford tears it loose and throws the switch back with his free hand, and realizes instead of a fanged phallic fish, he's now gripping naught but empty air. Tillinghast runs downstairs to pound on the bedroom door of the lead scientist on this study, one Dr. Edward Pretorius, proving the rule that it's grad students who always do the real work. The PhDs just attach their names, unless it's me. Pretorius is clad only in a Hefner-style black silk robe.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, so true. But he's so hirsute, he might as well be wearing an Angora sweater as plush as Tillinghast's. He runs upstairs and begins throwing switches. The violet light returns, now accompanied by a mysterious cosmic wind. This time, the exposure seems to give them both a headache. Tillinghast is agonized, but Pretorius revels in the discomfort.
Foreshadowing.
Tillinghast pleads with Pretorius to shut down the machine, but Pretorius refuses. And Tillinghast realizes that not only is Pretorius getting off on this, but the machine's now running itself. Something's coming, Pretorius warns, just as the attic windows begin to blow out.
I think we know what's coming. Him, probably. Huh?
A nearby neighbor is already on the phone to the cops about the disturbance across the street. Not content with merely caroning, she goes across the street with her little dog, Bunny.
Also, it's not a coincidence that the name of the dog is the actual name of the actress playing the nosy neighbor.
I find it hard to believe that anyone's actual real legal name is Bunny.
I know somebody named Bunny. Bunny Stewart. She's an actress in Sacramento.
I didn't say I didn't believe it. I just said it's hard.
Hold on. What kind of actress?
I don't know.
Allegedly.
I don't think
And she has a startling encounter with Tillinghast, who has to hack his way out of the attic with a fire axe. She drops her dog and runs as Tillinghast flees past her into the waiting arms of Johnny Law. Tillinghast struggles as he's cuffed, screaming, "It ate him!"
5 shadowing.
Crosscut to Bunny the Bichon happily licking Pretorius' bloodless neck stump as we smash to opening credits, all in the same violet hue as light from beyond over a solarized slow-mo close-up of mealworms.
This movie is awesome. I feel like it was on in the background at every college party I ever went to.
I was in college with you, and you never went to parties. You spent all your time playing Warhammer.
Clamato.
Clamato.
Ugh. Wait. So if this movie was on in the background at every college party you remember, Wouldn't that mean...
I plead the fifth.
You still have that amendment?
At the moment, we'll see about tomorrow. Back to the summary. When we get back from the credits, we find ourselves in the psych ward of the local hospital, where we meet some new faces. Police Detective Jordan Fields, played by Bruce McGuire, and Chief Physician Dr. Block, named after Lovecraft disciple and author of Psycho, Robert Block, and played by Stuart Gordon's wife, Carolyn Purdy Gordon. Block's expressing some professional misgivings about fresh-faced young experimental psychiatrist Dr. Catherine McMichaels, played by everyone's favorite 80s scream queen, Barbara Crampton.
It's worth noting here that Combs, Crampton, and Purdy Gordon all appeared in Stuart Gordon and Brian Yuzna's first collaboration, Reanimator, also, incidentally, an H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. And they would all appear again in future Gordon Yuzna pictures.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like the crew that does Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah. That's because Stuart Gordon was...
Totally not.
Well, Stuart Gordon was a theater director first before he was a film director, and he likes working with the same actors. You know, he likes working with the theatrical ensemble.
Just like Waiting for Guffman.
Indeed.
Well, Block is convinced Crawford Tillinghast is a paranoid schizophrenic, even though we're shown he's nothing like the muttering lunatics and aggressive masturbators that inhabit the other hepatic cells. He's calm but intense, and after reminding everyone he's a physicist, he proceeds to describe the impossible things that he's seen, as well as the outlandish theories regarding the pineal gland that have been uncovered by the work he's done with Dr. Pretorius. Block has him wrestled down and sedated for getting a little too close to McMichaels, and after some more arguments about McMichaels' methods, runs a CT scan on Tillinghast. This reveals Tillinghast's pineal gland is massively enlarged, just as the man had said it would be. Sorry,
It wasn't just bragging.
That. McMichaels convinces the police detective to permit her to do some medical investigation on Tillinghast's condition, much to Block's protests.
Funny thing about this hospital, every door in the place is given the same sound effect as the Enterprise's doors in the original Star Trek.
McMichaels takes Tillinghast into her custody. Confidentially, she tells him she believes him and wants to see what he saw. They leave the hospital after Inspector Fields assigns one of his team to keep an eye on the whole thing. Former pro football player turned police detective, one Buford Bubba Brownlee, played by Ken Foree.
Ken Foree is the badass cop from the original version of Dawn of the Dead, by the way.
The group piles into Brownlee's unmarked blue panel van and toodles over to the scene of the crime, 666 Benevolent Street.
The professionalism doesn't stop there.
Aha! My device is complete.
What does it do?
This will allow us to maintain our surveillance while we conclave.
By all that's unholy, don't tell me that's a...
A Tillinghast pattern resonator? The very thing. But I've improved upon the design.
What's that shiny reflective sphere-y thing?
Once I turn it on, that portion will begin to rotate and will create an extra-dimensional projection of what's happening in the next room.
Sure, dude. Whatever you say. Looks more like a disco ball to me.
Only to the uninformed. The grossly, grossly uninformed. Professor Andrea, keep watch through the hole while I get it running.
What's the point? I thought you said this would make it so we wouldn't have to do that.
It will make it that we won't, but won't yet. For now, we will, do. But not for much longer. Damn! The Finley sprocket must have gotten jammed on the Frabble flange. Just a minute. I swear this has never happened to me before. Just let me find my 9 3/4 gangly wrench. No, for real, this has never happened before. I've never had this happen before. Don't judge me, okay?
I think the man may have finally gone completely mad.
I agree.
Wait a minute. There's one surefire test. Hey, Ethan, old buddy, old chum.
What?
I think I noticed some fools over there. What do you think we should do about them?
Fools! I'll destroy them all!
Sounds pretty cracked.
Like a Ming vase in a bouncy castle, I'm afraid.
I don't know. Sounds pretty on brand to me.
Leave me to my work!
Okay, you do that, champ. I'll take the next part of the summary. So, here we are at the Pretorius Foundation, a terrifying, creepy mansion at 666 Benevolent Street. Not that we're laying on thick or anything. Dr. McMichael seems eager to go on, but Tillinghast is still shaken up from his experience and not exactly fond of the idea. He tries to escape the van, only to be told by a chuckling Detective Brownlee that, sorry, there's child locks on his unmarked murder van. This guy is just so above board.
Should have gone with the Honda Odyssey.
To look less murdery?
Yeah, but I mean, what ride could possibly look more murdery than, a panel van?
A clown car full of divorced Republicans?
A boxcar filled with severed hands?
Skeleton horse, like skeleton horse, but it's on fire.
Shut up! Get on with it.
Anyway, so McMichaels reassures Tillinghast that the only way to clear his name and prove he isn't crazy is to go back to the scene of last night's head unscrewing.
Yeah,
and
PTSD be damned.
So into that scary mansion we go. It might look like a haunted nightmare on the outside, but that's not so bad because the interior is arguably worse. For some reason, there is Civil War era memorabilia everywhere. Old "Don't Tread on Me" signs, picture of dudes with whiskers like they got infested with fluffy jowl weasels. A real danger in those days. And colonial era flags.
Ah, yes, the good old bars and anus.
That's a ring of stars representing the original 13 colonies, I'll have you know.
Yeah, rebel scum.
So, they have a look around. Bubba has brought along an entire set of weights with him like he's moving in for no reason that will ever be explained. Like right alongside the space gonorrhea.
Foreshadowing?
I thought it was a space herpy.
No. Tillinghast slips away almost immediately, and the others set out after him expecting to find him in the attic where it all began. There's a brief pit stop on the way, however, when they come across Dr. Pretorius' room and they find his elaborate S&M dungeon, complete with a TV showing Pretorius having all kinds of naughty fun. Well, only fun for Pretorius, I'm guessing. He's the one with the whip.
No king
What
shaming.
has this guy been getting up to in his room?
Well, I mean,
Naughty fun.
the difference between messing around and science is documentation, right?
Well, he documents this too.
So we know he's a real serious scientist.
You're making pornography
whatever it
for
was.
science!
Whatever it was, he filmed the whole thing for later reference, just in case snooping detectives needed to know whether he's a freak or not. He's a freak.
A scientific freak, though. Scientifically thorough.
How thoughtful.
Yeah, right? Up in the attic, Tillinghast has found the axe. Because of course there's an axe laying around in a haunted mansion. And he is about to wreck the shit out of what remains of the resonator, thus ensuring that no one is ever going to have any problems as a result of forbidden super science ever again.
Hooray.
Yep, it's going to be clear sailing from here on out. Totally. Tillinghast is going to put a stop to any more resonator-based shenanigans, and it's all going to be fine.
So is it all going to be fine then?
No. The others turn up in the attic and stop him, just in time. Dr. McMichaels reasons that all of the screaming and attempted axing is just the sign of a disturbed mind working out its trauma. And this is all super good for Tillinghast from a, therapeutic standpoint. Bubba decides that what everyone really needs is a home-cooked meal and proceeds to make chicken and dumplings or matzo balls or whatever the fuck they are, but they're the size of a baby's head. 1 for everyone else, but 3 for Bubba. It looks like the decision has been made to stay overnight in the terrifying crime scene of a recent head unscrewing with the accompanying sex dungeon full of weirdly sticky VHS tapes. This is all looking so good for Tillinghast's mental health. Real, confront your trauma style healing going on.
If you leave out all the sex stuff, you've basically just described our old headquarters.
Seriously.
Headquarters? Fie! It was a lair.
Now, after dinner, Tillinghast gets to work fixing the resonator, has a little chat with Bubba while Dr. McMichaels takes a post-dumpling nap.
Yeah,
He
she'd
talks
need
about
to.
exactly how much of a freak Dr. Pretorius was, because we didn't already get that idea. He's always getting up to noisy and demanding sex all night. Apparently, it was all not enough for him, and he craved the extra sensory stimulation that you can only get from a resonator high. Super charming.
It's like they always say, you can't just resonate your way out of your problems.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
Now, speaking of resonators, pretty soon, Tillinghast has the machine fixed up enough to give it a try. This will surely prove that he's not crazy and is definitely a good idea all around. Tillinghast warns them not to move while the resonator is resonating, because otherwise they will resonate the resonation field and cause resonations, some shit. Essentially, if you move, you get bit by the space bugs.
Don't struggle or you'll have trouble.
Stay totally still or you'll end up ill.
Better not move or your head gets unscrewed.
If you wiggle, your problems get biggle.
Yeah, all of that, sure. Anyway, Tillinghast throws the switch, and soon everything's going all purple again. Turns out he's not crazy. The whole world is crazy. The sexy Dr. McMichaels is clearly kind of into it straight away, and then really into Crawford, which is why no one notices at first when the alien space bugs just start drifting into view.
Medical ethics much?
And they're not exactly a bastion of professionalism here. Who the fuck cooks meals and has a sleepover at an active crime scene?
Speaking of that guy, Bubba sees something and goes to investigate. And as previously mentioned, his problems get biggle. He's bit by a space jellyfish thing with teeth. However, that's only the beginning, as guess who's back? Walking out of the shadows looking very ominous and very hairy, it's none other than Dr. Pretorius. And he's got his head screwed back on. And you remember how before it was mentioned that he might be kind of a freak? Well, he's,
What?
What? Tell us.
Hit us with the bad news. What's the worst that could happen?
Could he be?
He's nude, isn't he?
so nude. Whatever he was doing on the other side of infinity, he didn't need pants to do it. And the good doctor, he really wants everyone to know how well his life choices have worked out for him. You see, the loss of his earthly body is a small price to pay for everything he's getting up to since, like last night. In fact, he has moved beyond small considerations like life and death, good and bad, and why you ought to keep your skin all in one place. From this point on, we are in 80s body horror special effects, people. Like, I'm calling it Carpenter alert.
Are you sure? You realize there's a certain amount of oozing pustules and writhing flesh tentacles that are required for a full Carpenter alert.
Yeah, I know what I said. And yes, things are gonna get pretty, icky from this point onwards. The only thing that matters is the mind, explains Dr. Pretorius, and he demonstrates this by pulling his face off very calmly.
He pulled his face off.
Seems like you could have just written that down on a Post-it note or something. You didn't have to go to the trouble of oozing everywhere.
I told you, we are in full Carpenter alert situation here, people. And that means if someone needs to say something, they say it with tentacles or testicles, one of the two.
Both.
Bubba prefers to let his great big gun do the talking. No, not that gun, the shooty gun. And the only thing it has to say is goodbye. He shoots Pretorius, but that does nothing, as you might expect by now. Fortunately, Tillinghast is able to turn the machine off, and instantly, everything is normal again. It's actually a pretty effective effect, the way that the purple madness flicks off so jarringly as soon as the resonator is deactivated. So following this highly scientific experiment, everyone stops for fried eggs in the kitchen and a discussion about where to go from there. Bubba, quite naturally, feels like he's seen enough, but Dr. McMichaels is intrigued. Her interest is piqued, and she wants to know more. She actually wants to try again and see what more can be learned by further stimulation of the pineal gland with more resonating. She feels that this is, of course, perfectly rational course of action, and they have a scientific duty to learn more, and is a little put out. But everyone else seems to feel that this is actually not a wise course of action.
I mean, it's right there, waiting to resonate. You have to resonate when you find a free resonator just lying around.
I mean, or you could just not.
Fools! I'll destroy you all! I mean, sure, on with the summary.
No, it's a fair point, right? You know, if you're going to resonate, you're going to finish all the resonation on your plate. I mean, that's just a basic rule. And she does. She does explain her motives, however. See, her father was institutionalized with schizophrenia and ended up, in her own words, being turned into a vegetable. You know, proper scientific psychological terminology right there. She is hoping that there is some deeper knowledge about the workings of the mind just waiting to be found that might lead to better treatment in the future. Because, you know, women can't be motivated by anything other than daddy issues. If you think about it, it would be crazy not to resonate right now and check out the cool space bugs and flesh monsters, right? The others disagree. So they decide to sleep on it.
They decide to sleep on it in an active crime scene house.
Yeah, that cannot be emphasized enough. All of this is happening in an active crime scene.
From last night.
Yeah.
Yes, where the blood and body outlines are still on the floor. They're eating a dead man's food out of his fridge.
Yep.
However, after an unsatisfying night's sleep in what is probably the wedding bed of a disgraced Kentucky colonel or some shit, Catherine wakes up with some big feelings, trademark. Clad in a Victorian-era nightdress that she got from God knows where, Catherine is compelled to creep back up to the attic to have another go with the resonator.
Wait, did you say resonator or vibrator?
Hitachi Magic Wand, though, right?
Vibrator, vibrator.
Vibrator.
If you were all quite finished, I was trying to say I have gotten my improved resonator up and running.
So, what's so improved about it?
Just look at all these improvements. Look at them.
That's nice, man. Real good improving there.
Now, let's hear what they're saying about us.
Should we let them know that we can see them through the hole in the wall?
They can see us seeing them.
Curses! No, they clearly enjoy voyeurism. Maybe it's just, their thing.
Bastards! Now they think we're being kinky.
Aren't we?
They're voyeurs? Whatever floats their boat, dude. Who are we to kink shame them?
They're kink shaming us. Who are they to kink shame us?
I think they can see us seeing them.
They can see us seeing them seeing us.
Double curses! We should do something kind for them. They're such nice people.
They're gonna do something to us.
I think they might know we're planning a surprise for them.
They know where we know that we know.
Triple curses!
Quick, shut it down.
Guys, they know we're here and they know we're watching them.
I have a plan I have carefully laid for just such a development.
When? When did you lay a plan?
Before, when I was over there in the little room where I lurk and lay plans.
You were laying? Liar!
It's a great plan. Allow me to explain.
What's the genius idea then?
Oh, I think I know.
Flee!
Yep, called it.
Don't forget the resonator. We can't leave any evidence.
Where did everybody go? Hello? Hello?
Sure was nice of Sensei Steve to let us stay here.
Only when they're not holding classes.
Beggars can't be choosers. What's this place called again?
McDojo.
Really?
Apparently it's a franchise.
Oh, you think? The sign said, over 60 million served. There's no food here. What could they be serving?
Arse whoopings, presumably. And look at this. Sign up for 6 months up front and you get a 20% off and a free white belt. It would be economically foolish not to sign up at these rates.
I think the red G with yellow piping looks pretty cool, if you ask me.
It said gi.
Yeah.
What's a gi?
Karate pajamas.
Oh.
Everyone's got an opinion. They're like asses.
Being served.
You, sure Sensei Steve's gonna be okay with, you having blocked up the McDojo front window with tinfoil covered cardboard out there? Sinquisitor?
It'd be manslaughter if he didn't let us, and he knows it. We need to keep in the resonator's resonation and keep out the brain thoughts broadcasting radio of the doppelgangers.
Okay, no more internet for you.
Internet? I heard that on a bootleg audio cassette 30 years ago. And I'm a hero in hell. All of us are.
Oh, boy.
Right, now it's my turn to ask. Are you okay?
I've never been okayer. Keep watch on the doppelgangers. We must be aware of their every movements. Here, take the binoculars. I've wrapped them in tinfoil as well to block out their eyesight television rays.
Yeah, whatever you say, so long as they don't vibrate.
No promises. Someone help me set up the resonator.
I'm not sure this thing is safe.
And I'm sure it isn't safe.
Well, don't just stand there. We must keep conclaving. Who's got the next bit of the summary?
I've got it from here. So Catherine is staring at the resonator and fondling it. Crawford's having nightmares as he sleeps under the ocelot print sheets in the sex dungeon.
Do not shine a black light anywhere in that room.
Wear shoes with lots of grip.
Telling you about me, I'd sooner sleep on the couch.
The day I need tips on sex dungeon etiquette from you lot. Anyway, Catherine throws the switch and starts to breathe heavily and pleasurably, but she's suddenly stricken by a pain in her forehead. Crawford, too, comes awake, an angry red sore pulsing in the middle of his forehead. He runs upstairs to stop the machine because pineal pulsation is one of the known side effects of overdoing the resonation, after all. But Catherine's adamant. She won't turn it off. She's lost in the sensations and only wants to see and feel more. Crawford runs to turn off the switch, but Catherine seizes him and starts making out with him. Crawford, grad student nerd that he is, puts up an admirable level of resistance, given that he is a hot blonde in a see-through nightdress, ardently tongue-spelunking his face, which is to say he resists for 2 whole seconds before he caves and starts giving back as good as he's getting. Unfortunately, they're not alone. Pretorius is back, and he's worse.
Worse? What's worse than a carpenter alert?
Oh, he's so much worse that we're going to have to escalate to alert level Cronenberg. Pretorius's whole right half is changed. What doesn't look like a tumor looks like something that fell out of Cthulhu's nose.
Does Cthulhu have a nose?
It is a nose that is completely outside the understanding of mortal noses.
You mean,
That's right. A nose no one knows.
Pretorius, creepy voyeur that he is, starts to egg them on.
See? That's voyeurism!
But given the condition that his condition is in, his presence isn't exactly an invitation to booyah down to Squishy Town. Crawford and Catherine are grossed out. They turn towards the resonator, but before anyone can act, Pretorius lassoes Catherine around the neck with one of his slimy members and drags her to him. Crawford's paralyzed with indecision like a nutty little science Hamlet. He knows that if he moves towards the switch, Pretorius might simply snap Catherine's neck, but he doesn't want to stand there and watch her be molested to death either. Pretorius ups the ante by ripping open the bodice of Catherine's nightdress and starts to will his fingers to morph into something else. We did call a full Cronenberg alert, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Crawford bolts downstairs, but inexplicably, the Speedo-clad Bubba springs out and tackles him.
I gotta say, like, with this is these are not consentacles. These are hentai level tentacles we got going on here.
And I don't think Bobo's wearing a Speedo. I think those are just bikini cuts.
He's just that buff and got that much going on. It's just that tight.
They're just like, man.
He has the confidence of a large man with a windowless van.
Does it have free candy spray painted on the side?
No,
I'm a cop,
it's a sign
honest.
written in crayon on a piece of construction paper hastily taped to the side.
I mean, it's inexplicable that Bubba is just ready with a flying tackle, and it's equally inexplicable that he's just charging around with tackle flying. Those Speedos are more an aspiration than a firm commitment, if you know what I mean.
That was a very good.
And to his credit, though, nothing else was firm. So he stayed professional. Even in...
The water was cold. It's shrinkage.
He's been working those weights. Once Crawford explains that he's making for the breaker box to shut down the resonator, Bubba lets him up and they both head for the basement. Unfortunately, said basement is filled with water from beyond, as well as a giant lamprey-mouthed worm thing that looks like a rejected prop from Dune. Meanwhile, in the attic, Catherine demands to know what Pretorius is going to do to her. I'm going to kiss you, he says, before an insectile alien head bursts out of his face and starts trying to swallow Catherine head first. Some kiss, like the fumbling of an interdimensional insectoid horror nerd.
Jesus. Yeah, it's having its first time at the prom. Hey, we've all been to the high school disco.
Yep. I mean, I've seen worse kissers.
Back in the basement, Crawford dives for the breaker box but slips on all the worm that's going on and falls into the water. The worm gloms onto Crawford and starts swallowing him head first as well. Bubba tries to pull him out, but the worm thing's stronger by far. Once he realizes Crawford is so up the worm's gob that he can tap dance on tonsils, Bubba stops fucking around and just straight up yanks the power cables out of the breaker box by sheer muscle alone. The resonator shuts down and everything disappears. The worm thing and the water, which means nobody has to worry about electrocution. Thankfully, Pretorius, or the thing he became at any rate, is gone too. Aside from some goo in her hair, Catherine's none the worse for wear.
Well, he didn't promise he wouldn't get any in her hair.
Oh, boy.
50 points for hair. Crawford got it worse. He's got a bright red sore in the middle of his forehead. All his hair is mysteriously gone, and his upper body is covered in bruises from the worm thing's lamprey teeth.
Are there bruises or hickeys?
We'll just go all over again. Ugh.
In a parody of Michelangelo's La Pieta, Bubba picks up the stricken Crawford and carries him off, while a sobbing Catherine starts ripping all the power cables from the base of the resonator. Guess she's all resonated out for one night. Poor thing. Sometime later, Bubba watches as Catherine rubs ointment into Crawford's swords. They're arguing. Bubba realizes the resonator is changing all of them for the worse. Catherine wants to turn the resonator on again, but this time she wants to keep one hand on the switch, and she wants to do it alone. Bubba recognizes the siren song of the junkie because he's been a Speedo-wearing, fitness-crazed beat cop with a penchant for pot roast 10 damn years and knows the signs, man. And Catherine is in denial about it. Pissed off, she tells Bubba to take Crawford and leave. And as a cop, he's only in charge of Crawford. He leaves to pack the windowless panel van.
He didn't mention that Crawford lost all of his hair when he got eaten by that worm thing.
It's been matrixed up. He's gone full Keanu.
Yeah.
Traumatic, though, this.
I'm still curious why they brought so much stuff with them. Did they know they were going to stay the night? Like, did they just steal all this food, or did Bubba pack his own pot roast and dumplings? What's going on?
Bubba don't bub without no pot roast at the end of it.
Right.
Traumatic though this latest spate of experiences may have been, the exposure to trauma, the resonator's radiation, and or Pretorius' sex dungeon has awakened something in Catherine. She is compelled to explore the furnishings. While Bubba loads the windowless panel van, Catherine slips into one of the bondage outfits there and admires herself in the ceiling-mounted mirrors. Oh yes, there's mirrors on the ceiling. Are you really surprised? She sees Crawford unconscious on the, again, ocelot print sheets and gives him an undersheet handy and an oversheet straddling. The whole scene is about as erotic as Henry Kissinger in a zebra print mankini chanting, "Power is the greatest aphrodisiac."
God. I'm pretty sure sleeping people can't consent, just FYI.
Bubba walks in on her. She comes onto him, and tempted though he may be, he still shames her for her behavior. Bubba don't bubble for no bondage broad, baby. While this goes on, something is reconnecting power cables and flips the switch. The resonator hums to life. Crawford is still snoozing it off for the moment.
You'd think a leather-clad blonde straddling you would be enough to wake anybody up.
And he pops awake to the sound of resonating because he knows who's trying to recklessly restart the resonator from beyond. The group Scooby gangs it upstairs, but between lightning zaps from the resonator and a swarm of flesh-eating space termites, nobody's able to turn it back off. Bubba pulls out his flashlight and realizes the beam has an effect on the bugs. It drives them away from nibbling on Crawford and Catherine. We've discovered the one thing that insatiable sex creatures from beyond infinity fear: the cops showing up.
Jeez it, boys, it's the fuzz!
Unfortunately, he trips and drops his light, and for some reason being illuminated by its beam causes the entire swarm to descend upon Bubba in a flesh-eating frenzy. He is reduced to skeletal limbs and exposed organs within seconds and dies in agony on the floor. Bye-bye, Bubba. We barely knew ya. And to be honest, what we did know wasn't too great.
Except his cooking, it did look pretty good.
Yeah, it did look good.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of boiled dough.
Real carb-heavy cook, yeah. The flesh-hungry space locusts aren't the only thing from beyond. Pretorius is here too, and this time he's mutated into something like a flesh armchair from the Kentucky Fried IKEA.
Okay, we have got to be past alert level Cronenberg by now. Like, I thought that was our highest level. What's higher than that?
We're in uncharted territory. We have to establish a new category. Alert level Gordon Usna.
Chanting keys, keys, he lassoes Catherine with a tangle of... I can't say it.
Say it, damn you.
A tangle of what?
Yeah, let's get it detailed.
Yeah. What are they, Andy?
Donglers, beef bludgers, manhandling meat marionettes, a rugby scrum made entirely of greasy wieners, a mobile horde of tentacular nobblers, a merry-go-round of meat horses. I'm talking enough tallywhackers to fill a shiffer-robe.
Ew. Say less.
And he promises that her mind will go into his, the ultimate sensual pleasure. Crawford clutches at his skull in pain as a slimy red flesh finger erupts from the middle of his forehead, his sleeping pineal gland, according to Pretorius, which he has awakened in order to turn Crawford into something that has never existed in the world before. This new organ gives Crawford something like thermal vision, and hypnotized by the sight, he's unable to help Catherine as Pretorius drags her in. Catherine flails and manages to snag a fire extinguisher, which she uses to spray the resonator. The foam causes the machine to short circuit and shut down. Pretorius vanishes, and Crawford falls to the floor. Catherine rushes to his side. I think I need mouthwash.
I think we all need some brain bleach.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hey guys, hold everything. Something's up with the doppelgangers.
Wait. Don't tell me. My power word GERD spelled worked.
Wait, what? What?
Reflux is the burpee killer. It's a real nightmare.
No! They're talking with someone in a uniform, and they're all looking over here.
What?
Oh, shit,
Oh,
it's the
cops.
fuzz.
Oh
Oh,
my
my
God.
God.
No.
Do I have
no.
anything on me? Oh, no.
Game over, man! Game over!
It's a delivery company uniform.
Ah, okay.
Oh, thank
That's
goodness.
okay.
I'm not sure if that's
Smoke
better.
if you got 'em.
Because if
Yeah,
the
we'll be
federal
fine.
agents that are ununiformed, those are the ones we need to worry about. Maybe we can get a better idea of what's happening if we turn on my resonator.
I'm pretty sure that's a bad idea. I mean, haven't we just watched like 2/3 of a movie showing us that resonators are a bad idea?
Only because Pretorius and Tillenghast were absolute amateurs.
And what are we?
Tillenghast had an MS. Pretorius had a PhD. What do you have?
Moxie? And a BA in Cinematic Arts and Technology with a dual focus in cinematography and directing. Ha! Beat that.
Ever hear of the Dunning-Kruger effect?
Oh, Dunning your Kruger. Prepare to resonate.
And there we have it. Violence is the last refuge of the incompetent. You Americans think brute force is the answer to every problem.
Well, of course. It works 60% of the time, every time.
That's not how percentages work.
That's how they work in America, baby.
No, it isn't. Math works the same everywhere.
We've proudly rejected the metric system for more than 200 years.
Along with Liberia and Burma.
Myanmar. It's said Myanmar now.
Oh, right.
Tobago.
Okay, that's part of the West Indies, and it is pronounced Tobago.
Yeah, that's right. It's an island in the Caribbean.
You mean Caribbean?
No, bad.
Witness.
Well, knock it off then.
Can I start my resonator now?
No.
Fine. Joy kills all of you.
All right, I guess I'll take the next bit of the summary here. We go from the attic back to the hospital. Crawford's on an operating table as Dr. Block wields a set of forceps, and Crawford's pineal gland is playing hard to get. Just got to find the little man in the canoe, Doc.
He's got a bigger forehead junk than a Klingon chancellor.
We talking Martok or a full Gowron here?
Not bad, old man.
Probe onwards to proby glory.
Well, she certainly gets something. Guess for Block's efforts, Crawford pops a forehead boner.
Red Rocket!
Block clearly regrets having played just the tip with forceps, and Crawford's forehead dong shrivels back into his head just as a nurse shows up to inform Dr. Block that the police have arrived. But it's not his fault, it was cold in there. Block departs to deal with the fuzz, leaving Crawford to sleep it off. What a dickhead. We next see Dr. Block mid-argument with Detective Fields over whether Catherine's mental state or professional conduct are more compromised.
Both? Both sound good.
Block goes beyond merely shaming Catherine over reckless endangerment of human life to kink-shame her for her choice of wardrobe, pulling aside the blue velvet robe to reveal the studded leather teddy from earlier. And if she'd bothered with the baby powder, maybe she could have slithered out of it. Remember your baby powder up there, guys. Catherine pleads with Detective Fields to destroy the machine, but inexplicably, Detective Fields won't do it. He's more intent on shaming her for her choices. Blah, blah, I listened to you before, blah, blah, cost me one of my best men, blah, blah, blah. Come on, Fields, take responsibility for your own choices, why don't you?
Again, why can't both things be true? He misplaced his trust in Catherine, and he should also destroy the machine. And wait, one of his best men? The guy with the windowless panel van who keeps stopping to make pot roast?
Don't knock it. It takes a lot to make a good pot roast.
Fields remands Catherine into Dr. Block's custody and flounces out. Block orders Catherine into electroshock therapy. The nurse protests. Block is also transgressing guidelines of clinical practice, it would seem. But Block shuts her down. Catherine attempts to flee during the distraction, but a couple of burly orderlies scoop her up and off she goes to electroshock. Meanwhile, Crawford is conscious again. And hungry. He slips into the hall and tries grazing on some leftovers from a patient's tray. But that isn't what's tempting his tummy. His new pineal predator sight leads him to another room a little ways down the hall. There's a brief crosscut to Catherine, who's being strapped to a table in preparation for brain zappies. She's trying to talk her way out of it, but the fine young sadist of a tech ties a wad of gauze in her mouth. Elsewhere, Dr. Block returns to discover that Crawford has gone walkabout, but she spots a puddle of bloody fluid seeping out from under the door of the pathology lab. She finds Crawford inside, doing a... Sorry. She finds Crawford inside, doing a squat and gobble on a bucket of preserved brains. Yum.
Oh, I actually had a real hard time watching that.
After Block kindly asks him to not eat those, they'll make him sick. He tells her they're delicious. Suddenly, he realizes what he's doing, collapses in tearful disgust. Block mines some hidden depth of empathy and tries with whispering hands to gently lead him away, even flow style, when Crawford's moment of lucidity ends and he starts thinking with his little head again. The little head inside his big head. It's thirsting for brains. He pins Block against the locker and begins to suck on her face, pineal gland now fully erect and flailing around. Crawford spits out Block's eyeball on the floor, and with that obstacle removed, he dives in and begins slurping at her brain through the now empty eye socket.
Oh.
Her remaining eye rolls up and she collapses.
Oh.
I found that scene really hard to watch.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing it just like the ancient Egyptians used to do it.
Jesus.
I thought they went through the nose.
Is that any better?
Well,
Sarcasm.
she just couldn't help giving it one last dismissive eye roll, even now.
I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a prefrontal lobotomy.
What a blockhead.
Who are you, Lucy Van Pelt?
This is nuts. Pineal nuts.
Ugh, stop.
He only wants her for her mind.
Stop. We cut back to the electroshock room where sadistic tech boy has the trigger in hand and is just aching to zap Catherine's brain meats into steaming mush when he suddenly gets blue-balled by the head nurse barging in with a cop in tow.
Did anyone notice how with the shot framed this way, the trigger looks incredibly phallic?
All the sexual references in this film, they're just all so subtle.
Not ham-fisted at all.
No.
Mm-hmm. The nurse orders the tech to just put Catherine back in her room so they can sort all this crap out, and then runs out with the orderlies and the cop. Tech boy starts unstrapping Catherine, who seizes that moment to brain him with the OR light and bail the fuck out. Meanwhile, Crawford is clearly having some regrets, or at least brain digestion. As he staggers out the ambulance loading dock, the remains of his last meal smeared all down the front of his hospital gown like a sick toddler on spaghetti night. He spots Catherine peeling out in Bubba's windowless panel van and calls out to her, but she's too busy saving her own skin to notice him. But Crawford's in luck. Seconds later, an ambulance starts backing into the loading dock. He slips into the shadows and watches as the driver and paramedic unload an elderly drunk. Crawford first ambushes the driver, then the paramedic when she comes looking for her partner. Crawford starts pounding open the paramedic's head on the pavement, but the panicked shrieks of the wino cause Crawford to lose his pineal chub. Now, suddenly cognizant of his behavior, Crawford drops his victim and flees the scene in the ambulance, leaving the wino to wonder whether sobriety might not be all it's cracked up to be.
Valid.
Catherine pulls up to the house on Benevolent Street and goes straight back up to the attic, where there's now a new chalk outline of Bubba's truncated form to match the old chalk outline of Pretorius' headless one. We may never see the chalk outline guys at work, but they are apparently the most ruthlessly efficient branch of this entire homicide squad. We can see Catherine has finally found enough baby powder to ditch the leather teddy in favor of more mundane clothes. But more importantly, she's brought along a time bomb. It's never explained how she has obtained either the thing itself or the skills to build one. You just see she has one and you have to deal with it. It's a good size too. 8 jumbo-sized sticks of dynamite. She sets it on top of the resonator and sets the timer for 5 minutes.
Well, time bomb making is part of basic psych training.
My dad always said, ain't nothing worth doing that isn't worth overdoing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it was just lying in the back of the windowless panel van.
I mean, would you be surprised?
Just as Catherine's making her escape down the stairs, Crawford pounces on her, drags her into Pretorius' sex dungeon, and shackles her. She resists, but mostly only because of the bomb she's just planted. Any other time, shackles would be very much on the table, where they belong, I guess. Crawford ignores all this bomb talk and professes his love for her, as one does after, 2 days with a...
2 days with a mental professional and resonation.
She's got some resonations about this relationship.
Okay. Carry on. No.
Well, after he professes his love, he pops another forehead chub. No longer able to think with his big head, he lunges in toward her eye socket, but she knees him in the nards and chomps down on the shaft of his pineal boner, biting it right the fuck off. You go, girl.
Is that like third base, or...?
I think we're, third dimension.
More like the Lorena Bobbitt of sci-fi.
Oh.
Well, something must be thinking all this brain emasculation ain't kosher, because it's reactivating the resonator from beyond. Damage be damned. Crawford is slowly returning to sanity when everything turns electric pink and the cosmic wind starts blowing again. Catherine sees this and asks him for help. She's chained up in a house where there's enough TNT to blow a hole in the world after all. But suddenly, Pretorius is back, mutated even further. He's now the size of an entire flesh corner unit and ottoman, and this time he wants to finish what Crawford left undone. Pretorius seizes Catherine by the neck, wittering on about knowing the desires of another mind is the greatest sensual pleasure in the universe. Meanwhile, waving around his own massive pineal member. Pretty easy to guess what Catherine wants right now, and I don't see "let me go, you freakish flesh furniture" getting him off. But Crawford baits him with a little mockery. Pretorius in his prior form suffered from impotence, and even though he's evolved, he's clearly still extremely insecure about it. He rises to the bait and charges Crawford, who lures him out of the room and down the stairs in a bid to buy time for Catherine to free herself. Pretorius' new form was too big to manage the stairs, so he simply does the sensible thing. He mutates into a massive, armored, bat-like creature which swoops down on the defiant Crawford and proceeds to slurp the man's head straight off his neck.
Damn.
Like you do.
You do.
Yeah.
The timer counts down as Catherine thrashes, trying to free herself. The eels from beyond are attracted to the commotion and swim into the room. She wriggles her wrists and the mindless beasts chomp right through the leather cuffs. Pretty neat trick if you can manage it. But she realizes if she tries to flee, she'll be next on the menu. She surreptitiously palms a matchbook from her pocket, lights it, and chucks it into the corner to distract the eels. She flees downstairs, only to trip over Crawford's headless corpse. You just know the chalk outline guys are just out of shot, waiting for their moment. Chalk's twitching.
Soon, boys, soon.
Wait for it.
Oh, so fun to do it on the stairs, too.
I really would have loved to see that Keith Haring drawing.
Bat Pretorius blocks Catherine's exit, and the eels are starting to swarm again. She flees back upstairs to the attic through water that's flowing down them from somewhere for some reason. She reaches the resonator and spies there's barely 30 seconds left on the time bomb when Pretorius, restored to his more pedestrian form and cackling like a magpie, seizes her by the ankle and pulls her to the floor. Lucky for her, though, something, No, someone pries Pretorius' mouth open from the inside. It's Crawford? He's reborn through Pretorius' mouth and struggles to free himself. The timer continues to count down as Crawford and Pretorius struggle for control over the massive flesh they both somehow inhabit, which rapidly devolves into a squirming, amorphous blob housing a couple of human skulls snapping at each other. The one that's presumably Crawford chomps the arm holding Catherine captive, and freed, she jumps out of the attic window just as the bomb goes off. Falling 3 stories isn't typically great for one's health, as you might expect, and the fall leaves Catherine's legs shattered. Her arm is busted up, a couple of ribs bruised, and her hair is a mess.
It's just a shame she's lost her combs.
I was just thinking it's not a Lovecraft story until someone jumps out a window.
Fair.
Well, no glass or wood shrapnel, no blast wave injuries, nothing spinal. I'd say she got off lucky.
Bunny and her Bichon are at the forefront of a bunch of neighborhood looky-loos who've gathered to watch Catherine bleed out. Bunny leans in and promises to call the hospital. But first, she's just got to know what happened. Critical injuries are never an obstacle to good caring after all. Agonized, shaking, Catherine chokes out, "It ate him!" before alternately screaming and laughing maniacally as we go to credits.
Hey, at least she got the last laugh.
Shh. Delivery guy is headed this way.
How could he possibly know we're at McDojo?
Yeah, it's not like there's a tinfoil covered sheet of cardboard with a peephole that's been stuck in the front window or anything.
He's carrying something.
Surely it must be a bomb.
It looks like some kind of flower. And don't call me Shirley.
But how do we know it's not a bomb?
I know. I'll scan him with my resonator.
Oh, Christ. Don't turn that on.
Too late. Shows nothing.
Innocence proves nothing.
Wait, since innocence proves nothing and the resonator shows nothing, and since 2 negatives cancel each other out...
That proves everything.
Again, not how math works, guys.
I know, but I think they might be onto something. Don't doppelgangers always want to terminate the originals? That's like a doppelganger rule, right? I think I heard that somewhere.
Oh, great. Now you two?
Crap, it's run out of power. I knew I should have rigged this thing up to run on something more than just double A's.
It's okay, man. It's not the size that counts.
Sure, buddy. Just keep telling yourself that.
He's at the door. Don't let him in.
Quickly, pelt him with random items. Wound this felon.
Guys, he's carrying a peace lily.
Exactly the kind of thing I'd put a bomb in.
To throw us off the scent. Bombs have scent, right?
Okay, you're all being paranoid. I'm gonna go talk to the guy.
No!
Can I help you?
Hi, I'm Matt with Parcel Pals. I've got a flower delivery from those folks across the way.
Yeah, tape him up!
Get him! Get him!
I am...
Ropes! All of us stop!
Hey guys, this has been a lot of fun, but I'm gonna have to get back to work, or my supervisor's gonna write me up. Do you think you could loosen these zip ties? I'm starting to lose feeling in my fingers.
We're asking the questions. Where were you on the night of December 31st?
At home, watching a movie. Not really a New Year's Eve party kind of guy.
Aha! A movie.
Just as we suspected.
Exactly what movie were you watching?
Choose your next words very, very carefully.
Society, I think. Your voices sound familiar.
Society? From 1989? Produced by Stuart Gordon and directed by Brian Usna?
Yeah, you know, the one with the big weird human flesh puddle at the end?
Oh, we know. We know that one all too well.
I think he's corrupted. Very well, delivery scum. Wait, what's your name again?
It's Matt.
Delivery Matt? You're accused of attempted assassination of our noble society. Do you confess?
Confess? What? That was a flower, a peace lily. I didn't expect a kind of Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody
expects the Spanish Inquisition, but our chief weapon is, worse than fear. And once you confess to trying to kill us, we'll sentence you to our worst punishment.
Making you watch every single Roger Corman film back to back.
But that's more than 500 movies. That's cruel and unusual. He's going to sound like Wesley when Humperdinck set Rugen's machine up to 50.
No punishment can be too harsh for someone trying to deliver a bomb to us.
I'm sorry. I can't be party to this. I'm so sorry. If you need me to let your boss know what happened, I'll vouch for you.
What? Crimes? Misdemeanors? Demanding answers on pain of horrifying torments?
No, even more movies. I mean, come on. Would you pick up a book for once? We could, throw books at him.
Lame.
Oh, Python quotes? Punishment by movies? I know I've heard your voices somewhere before.
There's only one thing for it. Hoods up, society. Now, remove his blindfold.
Ah, that's better. The bandana was tickling my nose. Hey, what's with the red robes and... Oh, wait, hang on. Are you guys the Cinemania Society?
How does he know? How could he know?
Is he a spy?
Oh, yeah.
The fact that you guys broadcast these things.
The High Council must have said it.
Oh, yeah, I love your show. Listen, I've listened to every episode, even the reruns.
You're a listener?
More of a fan, really.
You're a fan? He's safe, guys. Let's cut him loose.
Thanks. So, why are you guys holding a conclave here at McDojo?
We were in my old bookshop, but...
The doppelgangers next door caught us spying on them.
You were doing the spying.
Right under the bus, huh? I was spying on your orders.
I was just following orders. Hasn't been defensible since Nuremberg. And the original cut of Blade Runner with the shitty voiceovers.
But you... Ugh! Next time, do your own spying.
Now that I have my resonator, I will.
Doppelgangers? Now that I think about it, yeah. They did look like you guys. Sort of.
And we must keep abreast of their every move. Their motives are sinister.
They really seem like nice folks. Come on, they sent you a peace lily.
Peace lily? We left that fragrant bomb out on the promenade, along with the pretty ceramic vase it came in, so when it goes off any moment now, they'll get the blame.
And we'll get our store back.
A genius-level plan.
I think you're going to be waiting a while. Anyway, what movie are you doing for this conclave?
From Beyond?
1986, Stuart Gordon and Brian Usna, starring Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton?
Precisely. How did someone with your knowledge of the forbidden end up as a mere delivery man? Don't make me ask a second time, because I will. And a third.
Oh, I'm actually an evil scientist in my day job. But I've been moonlighting with parcel pals because I have student debt and there's not a lot of money in evil academia.
Oh, I feel you there.
Anyways, I just happen to have my notebook with my own judgment on From Beyond right here. I started writing judgments on movies I suspected of being sources of cinemania after I started listening to you guys. You guys mind if I sit in on this one?
Highly irregular. This is supposed to be a secret society.
With a podcast.
We can't just let in anyone who asks.
Are you fucking kidding me? Guys, I am right here. I'm not even an official member, and I've been crashing your party for the past 2 years. I'm in the group chat.
Wait, we have a group chat.
And no, I'm talking about something else.
Well, I guess you can sit in.
Just this one time.
But first, you must take the pledge.
He gets a pledge? The only pledge I ever took was that can of lemon-scented shit when I cleaned up the old video rental store.
Do not speak of such things.
I gotta take a pledge, huh? Yeah, okay.
First, raise your right hand in the Cinemania secret salute.
How do you get your fingers to do that?
Practice. I state your name.
Yes. I, State your name.
Nice.
Whatever, anyway, moving on. Do solemnly swear to fight Cinemania in all its forms. Wait, not the first bit.
Do solemnly swear to fight Cinemania in all its forms. Wait, not the first bit.
And keep secret the existence of the society, its members, and its location. And you damn well know how to say it properly. Just say it like I do.
Like I do.
Till death do I part. And I don't mean me. And don't forget to put you in there.
Till death do you part.
Near enough. Amen. And with that, let us resume our conclavery. Well, since we're sitting down to judge this film, let us begin with our guest. So, please, delivery, Matt. What is your judgment?
Well, it seems like any time a character needs to have a run-in with the metaphysical, the pineal gland is involved. Whether it's telekinesis, telepathy, astral projection, or other psychic awakening, it's due to the pineal gland. This probably started with Descartes, who not only is credited as saying that the pineal gland was the third eye, but he also believed that the pineal gland tethered the soul, the human soul, to the human body.
It's a lot for one gland.
Yeah, no kidding. This line of thinking was not unique to French philosophers. Several other cultures accredited metaphysical mumbo-jumbo to the pineal gland over the years. This has resulted in writers now treat the pineal gland the same way the crew of the Enterprise treats the deflector dish. It does whatever they need it to do.
Oh, I thought for a second you meant they treat it like they treat their livers.
That's synthahol. It doesn't hurt you, right?
Hey, two things can be true.
Well, I mean, it sort of sounds like, like him saying that it ties the soul to the body. So what happens if you, remove somebody's pineal gland? Suddenly they don't have a soul?
Yeah, well...
I mean, then again, they didn't do a ton of brain surgery in Descartes' day.
Yeah.
Or maybe it connects you to other souls.
Yeah, Descartes died in the 1600s, and I don't think... If they were removing your pineal gland, you probably weren't going to survive the process anyway.
Well, I think Hope makes a good point there, too, about them tying, using it to tie together to other souls. That's what we saw in the movie.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Two souls merge.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's just... Do you want Jeffrey Combs to be able to see brains? Pineal gland's the third eye.
Okay.
You want to see Barbara Crampton dressed in a dominatrix office? Oh, yeah. The pineal gland makes, is responsible for sexual arousal. And so the reason that people can put so much, emphasis on the pineal gland is because despite years of study, no one actually knows what it does.
I mean,
except that we do know what it does, and it's actually pretty anticlimactic. The pineal gland is mainly responsible for producing melatonin, and it's in charge of the circadian rhythms, our sleep cycles. But since that's not as much fun as astral projection, it's like, we don't need to be exactly scientifically accurate to tell a good story. And I personally loved this film. I've always been a sucker for cosmic horror. I loved the visual style, even all the weird, gross stuff, which I didn't realize initially that the same people that did this did Society, but once someone pointed that out, it's like, oh yeah, that's why everyone's made of goo.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah, so...
They just had leftover buckets of this stuff. Like, let's make another movie with it.
Well, it was only one half of the team that did Society. It was Brian Yuzna.
Yeah.
He didn't have Stuart Gordon on for Society. That was Yuzna's idea entirely. But he got, you can see the amount of goo that they threw at it.
Yeah. It's like the whole goo industry owes their existence to those two movies.
You wouldn't have had... What was the one with Nathan Fillion?
Oh,
wouldn't have
Slither.
Yeah. You wouldn't have had Slither without this movie.
Yeah, that was...
true.
Oh God, what's his name? The guy that did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Gunn, yeah.
Gunn, Peter
James
Gunn.
Gunn.
James Gunn.
Peter Gunn.
Peter
Gunn, totally different.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. But the thing that I really loved about this movie was it was the visual style. It was like they were doing a bunch of cocaine and they're like, hey, you know how it's the 1980s? Let's turn that up to 11.
Allegedly.
Allegedly doing
Allegedly.
it.
That's the story behind people who made movies in the 80s, is that everybody was on coke. That does not mean we were making allegations that Stuart Gordon, Brian Yuzna, or any member of the crew was actually on cocaine.
No,
For
that
legal
we're just
reasons.
saying, yeah.
Oh wait, we're only
We're
allegedly
not
doing
making
cocaine right now.
We're not making the allegations. We're just saying that other people
Yeah.
have made allegations.
That's
We're
the-
just
I mean,
referencing-
It's just
we're
an allegation.
referencing.
There's no actual evidence. But I mean, come on.
Just snowblind making that fucking film. They're like Fleetwood Mac. I just don't even remember recording that album.
So I actually found something
If
interesting.
the pupils
about,
dilate, you must equate.
apparently in some animals, the pineal gland helps with bone metabolism. So maybe they just misunderstood what kind of bone, and that's how they made the leap to the rapiness.
Horniness.
You ever noticed lizards, though? They kind of have
Turns
that
into
big,
an
large...
angler head dangler. Yeah.
Lizards have that spot on their head, though, that kind of functions almost like a third eye. They have there's sort of like a transparency there. It can sense light or dark, but I remember, they have a more developed
What
pineal gland
lizards
than
have
humans.
that?
Oh yeah, I did a bunch of research on the pineal gland. I could, this whole podcast could be just me droning on about it, but
That's our other podcast.
I have plans
If
to
anyone's
do that
gonna
later.
drone on, it's gonna be us.
yeah. But
Professor and I, we're gonna rip this movie a new
yeah,
one with all the
it does
science
also
we've learned.
control well, not control, but it is linked to menstrual cycles as well.
Any
And
cycles all the cycles.
and if you mess with someone's sleep cycle too much, then their reproductive organs start doing weird stuff. Mostly the testicles and the ovaries will get larger or smaller.
You know, that makes sense, because one time I didn't sleep for about 36 hours and my pineal gland started coming out of my forehead.
And then your balls swelled up to the size of watermelons.
Well, no, that was just a pre-existing condition.
Yeah.
that just happens every full
yeah.
moon,
Oh, so
right?
then it's not covered by healthcare.
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting back to the visual style, which it's really clear, if anyone here likes synthwave as much as I do, that
Oh yeah, baby.
this movie
podcast
Us
and
like
synthwave?
synthwave?
What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Have you met Ethan?
Have you listened to our pick on Vangelis?
yeah. But this movie definitely inspired a bunch of synthwave art with just so much, neon pinks and purples. And of course, any movie that's got Jeffrey Combs in it is automatically better. There's 2 levels of Jeffrey Combs, and it's the right amount and not enough. And this movie, I think, had the right amount of Jeffrey Combs in it.
I thought it had both the right amount and not enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Every movie with Jeffrey Combs needs a second Jeffrey Combs. I mean, hell, Deep Space Nine had, 4 Jeffrey Combs?
Yeah.
I think there was an episode of Deep Space Nine that was just all Jeffrey Combs.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Every single character.
Yeah, the episode was titled Oops, All Jeffrey Combs.
I barely recognized him without heavy prosthesis.
Cisco pulls off his face mask. I was Jeffrey Combs the whole time.
And then Kira, and then Odo, and then everyone.
Yeah. But, so I really hope that someone in Hollywood listens to our podcast and says, hey, our viewers, they want more H.P. Lovecraft.
And more Jeffrey Combs.
And more Jeffrey Combs.
Well, if we'd been lucky, I have a friend who actually, Liesl Hansen, did Reanimator the musical, directed by Stuart Gordon shortly before Stuart Gordon died. So she had the pleasure of working with and knowing him. So maybe we can get Liesl on as a guest who can tell us a little bit about work. She's an actress as well. She's been in stuff, and she's been on Reels of Justice in their early days too. So we can probably have Liesl on as a guest.
Yeah, that musical is what killed Stuart Gordon.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't say that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, they just reanimated him so he could finish the show. Are we good?
Well,
We should get
this
Jeffrey
does have to
Combs
be a
on here.
judgment, doesn't it?
Unless one of us is.
Judgment.
already-
Yes.
Oh, this movie is guilty as hell.
All right.
All right. Well, I have to say, I am incredibly impressed delivering Matt. I had no reason to expect that you would be able to deliver a judgment as competently and as credibly as the rest of the society. I think we might be able to have you back, possibly.
I got more deliveries to make, so just order something.
We'll
But
have
the
to
zip
study.
ties stay on.
Yeah. That's part of the pledge.
Okay. Very well.
And then the beating.
Profligator Daniel, what's your take?
Well, I think this movie is interesting. The content is classic 1980s sexual schlock fest, gross, you name it. But there are elements of the production, like from a very technical sense, it's not bad, right? The acting isn't totally deadpan flat. It's ham-handed, but where it should be ham-handed. The effects are often better than they deserve to be. So even down to the opening credits, right, which just blast you in the face with neon pink. It's so much that once they're done, like my eyes were just blown out. I could barely even make out the proper color balance for the rest of the film.
Right.
And I personally think that is a clear sign that even though the actors should have just been making another really crappy, low-budget, Brian Usna style, like 80s horror film, they were giving it their all. So was the production crew. There's even halfway decent cinematography in some spots. I really think that's a sign that the entire cast and crew was infected by Cinemania to give it their all that way, as if they were trying to convince people of how important it is to see the world from beyond. And that is a dangerous, dangerous concept. Now, I do also have to call out a couple of things. It rather misrepresents what René Descartes had to say about exactly all of that and the world from beyond. He never said that the pineal gland is a third eye. He simply talked about it as the seat of the soul because of the way that he assumed that it was the organ that moderates between animal instinct and higher level human thinking. And because it is what separated our sentience from the animals, and they were all very obsessed with what separates man from the animals at the time, that also made it the seat of the soul. Now, he just picked it because literally it was in the middle of the brain and there weren't two of them like many parts of the brain. He's like, well, it's in the middle. I bet it's really important. Seat of the soul. Obviously, that was just made up.
Yeah, it's wrong.
And that's
You
not
can
the
say it.
only thing they got wrong about the pineal gland in this film.
Right. So clearly the movie's guilty of many things. From trying to actually do a good enough job to convince people to replicate the experiments and transfer their brains into the beyond, to suggesting that René Descartes came up with that idea. Not that I actually know what the pineal gland actually does. I've only studied what morons from latter days think it did. So yeah, definitely guilty. Does somebody actually know what the pineal gland is?
Ooh.
You may proceed,
I don't think
Auntie
anybody
Hope.
does. No,
Yes.
no one ever.
No, you may proceed, Auntie Hope.
I know the basics of what it does. And like Matt touched on earlier, its main purpose that we know of is to regulate your circadian rhythms, your daily cycle of waking and sleeping. It brings in serotonin and creates melatonin, which helps you sleep. It starts in the evening, like the change of light triggers it. Darkness triggers your pineal gland to start making melatonin to start helping you go to sleep. And light.
So you're saying like best way for me to cure my chronic insomnia is I just need to be eating people's pineal gland?
I mean, you could try it.
I don't think eating a pineal gland just like that automatically makes your pineal gland bigger.
So what you're saying, I think if I understand correctly, is that instead of making him indescribably horny, he should have just gotten really sleepy?
Yeah, you should have just passed the fuck out. The really big pineal gland would have just made him so
inaccuracy
sleepy.
in this movie.
And to be fair, there are several scenes of napping.
Yeah, true. Yeah, fair point.
Right. And then light
He
triggers.
is able to sleep through what's her bucket, like grinding on top of him in that BDSM.
Barbara
Which was
Crampton,
also
Crampton,
not
yeah.
consensual. Jesus, she's
Oh, yeah, no, this
she's
movie
like
does
two
not
steps from having her license revoked.
It's
She took it beyond.
Yeah, 2 steps from getting your license revoked. What does she have to do?
From beyond the ethical boundaries.
Right? Jesus.
From beyond
Christ.
the HIPAA violation.
It doesn't surprise me that Descartes got that wrong. You know, when René Descartes was a drunken fart, you know, his whole I drink, therefore I am.
Well, it's just a matter of putting Descartes before the horse.
Yeah. Or the panel van in this case.
And everybody knows that every PhD gets one under the sheet handy as a freebie.
Right? I mean, how else are you going to get postdocs?
That's how postdocs are made.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, please save us.
Just need a second. I can't save you now.
Did he explain the academic birds and bees to you?
So anyways, yeah, it also, when your brain reacts to light and stops producing melatonin and you wake up. That's why looking at your phone when you should be sleeping messes with your sleep cycles, because too much light to your brain, or you're getting these signals, and it's telling your brain, oh, daytime, no more melatonin, don't go to sleep. Yeah, so, but I mean, that's...
It's not because I was watching From Beyond on my phone.
I mean, it didn't help.
Wait, so you're saying that our Wi-Fi routers are basically mini resonators?
Oh, Lord, please don't go down that rabbit hole.
No, she's not saying that.
Do not go down the rabbit hole.
She's not saying
Someone please take away his internet access and books and VHS tapes.
So that was guilty, right, Daniel?
Oh, Lord. Well, Daniel already said guilty.
I already declared it guilty. We're on hope now.
boy.
Yeah.
All right.
You know how much I hate when they get the science wrong. It's not even that difficult. This is a gland we know about. And do you know why it's named the pineal gland? Because it's shaped
It's full of
like
pie.
because it's shaped like a pine cone. That is literally why it's named that.
What the fuck?
That's what Wikipedia told me. So I mean, it could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
It's pretty funny.
So your judgment?
Obviously, it's guilty.
Ah.
Obviously. I mean, if for nothing else than getting you down all these rabbit holes and...
Suspicion is enough to convict. All right, scrutinizer Zachariah.
you know, we've talked a lot about some of the great 80s actors that were in this, like Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs, but I would like to take a moment to talk about a American treasure that is Ken Foree. Yeah, he was fantastic. One of the things I remember about him specifically is in Dawn of the Dead. And one of the things I remember about Dawn of the Dead is how he was introduced. You know, everything's going to hell. There's this plot of like a couple cops and a news reporter are going to get a helicopter and fly off, and they're having trouble getting out of there. And out of the shadows of like these cops getting into this giant gunfight is this 6'5" huge man in like a riot gear and stuff, and comes out and blows everybody away. And he takes off his mask, and it's freaking Ken Foree, you know. And he's just like got this really intimidating but really charismatic presence. And the thing that I wasn't expecting is he steps in as the hero of the piece. And that, except in like blaxploitation film and stuff, wasn't that common back then. And he wasn't just shown to be heroic. He was heroic. And his career has been very much shown as a very positive black role model in film. And to my knowledge, he really didn't do much blaxploitation. In fact, I believe he only started acting like about a year before he started Dawn of the Dead. So, and even his character going back to From Beyond, you know, of, Bubba Roundtree and stuff like that, it could have been played as a real caricature, real racist trope, but he didn't. He gave the character so much personality that he just oozes that. I really loved it. And honestly, when he got killed off in the movie, I lost a lot of interest because I was just like, oh, now I'm just stuck with these two boring white people. You know?
In several films that we've watched lately, these pro football players turned actors have been really great. Wasn't there one in
I don't think he really was a pro football player.
I don't think he actually
was just
was
his
a football-
character was a former pro football player.
Yeah.
I don't think Ken Foree was himself.
oh well what we were watching
He
the
just
other-
played it so well you thought he really was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In
And
Ice
he's so
Pirates,
fit-
we had a former pro football player,
Yeah,
right?
that was,
and it was somebody else.
the guy who played Sloth from the Goonies.
Yeah.
John Matuzak.
Yeah, Matuzak. Yeah,
The
the twos.
yeah.
But yeah, he was 6'5". He could have played ball.
And then I
probably,
always
if
think
he
of
wanted
like
to.
Terry Crews.
Oh
Right?
yeah, Terry Crews.
Football players turned actors.
I mean,
They get a double thumbs up from
Dick
me.
Buckus. I don't know if he ever really did
best
much
name.
acting, but yeah,
With a name like that, you have to.
But Ken, actually, a lot what I learned just looking him up and stuff, a lot of millennials might actually know him. He was the dad on the Kenan and Kel.
Do you mean Kenan and Kel?
Kenan and Kel, that was it. Yeah. You know, that's a little after my time watching Nickelodeon. But yeah, he's been around and he's been acting for a long time. He's actually had parts in a lot of Rob Zombie's movies, which it's like, go figure, Rob Zombie is a big, like, Dawn of the Dead fan.
Who would have thought Rob Zombie likes zombie movies?
Exactly, right? But due to his just... What do you call it? His
charisma?
No, I was just thinking, just due to his just body of work, him being in this movie along with Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton, that alone, before we get into all the tentacle hentai and Lovecraftian body horror and buckets of KY jelly, that alone would have made this movie guilty. But on top of it, like we said, we have a whole new category of body horror from Beyond. And yes, that is my judgment. This is guilty. But yeah, no, put Ken Foray in anything and I'll watch it.
Excellent. Verifier Andy, what is your judgment?
Wait. So did you say it's guilty?
Oh, yeah, it's guilty. It's guilty like a mofo. Faux show.
Verifier Andy, proceed.
Well, I'd never seen this film until we came to judge it, and I like this kind of movie. I was surprised I'd not heard of it before. It never really broke through in the way that Reanimator did, and a lot of those schlocky 80s meat fests did. And I think it comes down to one thing that kind of scuppers this movie in an odd way. It's the house. 666 Benevolent Street, the house of Dr. Pretorius.
The house?
Now, clearly, yeah, the house. And I'll tell you for why. They clearly didn't have a huge amount of money. You can see where they had to put the money in and where they didn't really have enough to explore what they wanted to. But the one thing they did have was this house. They've clearly found some old colonial era mansion, and somehow they've got the right to use it for a while. So they've thought to themselves, we've got this one really good location. We're really going to use it a lot, and it becomes a bit of a millstone around this film's neck. There's two separate scenes where people are having a lovely spot of dinner in the kitchen to think about what to do next. They sleep over for no reason that makes any sense, and there's these long shots going through all these corridors filled bizarrely with colonial era southern artifacts, all of these old flags and sort of the South will rise again memorabilia everywhere that make no sense for the film. But they've fallen in love with their location, and they've thought, we've got this great place, we're going to spend as much time here as we possibly can. And to my mind, that sets off the pacing a little bit. This film is too long where it should have been snappy, and it's too snappy in scenes that should have gone longer, and it just gives it a weird atmosphere that it wasn't going for, weird in the wrong way. And it all comes down to the house. If they had been forced to use sets, for example, or a location that they'd had to hide with cunning shadowing because it was a bit shit, I think the film would actually have done better and been a lot better quality for it. The house is both an awesome location and also a problem because it's not quite right for what they're doing. And that's why this film, I believe, never reached the great audience that it could have done if it had gone balls out in a different way, and the weirdness had been allowed to fly its freak flagellations a bit further. For this reason, this film is weird, but weird wrong, and I must judge it completely guilty of Cinemania.
You know, I actually...
The film is housebound?
Yeah. I actually hear what you're saying there. I've worked, and Ethan has too. I've worked on a shoot where we had a location that was like a house, and one of the reasons they got it, I mean, it was in the middle of suburbia, and we used the hell out of that location. I mean, even people were like sleeping there. There was like editing suites and stuff upstairs. So yeah, you can like just kind of get locked into a location that just can make and break the film. So I think you're onto something there, actually.
It's got a creepy vibe, but the wrong kind of creepy.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
more sort of, Ghosts of a Kentucky Colonel creepy.
And there's also
from beyond the infinite creepy.
I also feel like the outside of the house and the inside of the house don't really match very well.
There's a reason for that, but we'll get to that when we get to mine. And since I'm going to have the last word, Professor Andrea, would you please conduct your judgment?
Professor Andrea, of course. I started watching this movie a little encouraged because we had two main female characters who were both very smart scientists, important. I was like, hey, this is encouraging. And then the lead scientist falls into the same trap that all horror movie females seem to, which is they're attacked like all the other guys by the monster, but it's always extremely sexual. Like from the moment Pretorius is grabbing Catherine and his fingers turning very long in like a very suggestive way and like ripping her bodice and all of the other implications, it's definitely, you don't see it, but it's definitely implied, very rapey, extremely rapey. And so I was very disappointed. But this seems to be a problem with the horror genre in general, that women who are in these movies, when there's attacks, it always ends up being that kind of thing. So I would say because this movie got my hopes up and then it dashed them, I declare it guilty.
And I have to agree with you on some of this too. Like, it looked like we were going to have these two wonderful professional scientific women, and they both turned out to be extremely unprofessional and emotional, and it was
straight to the electroshock every time.
I just want to offer a couple of points to consider along that, related to that, because I was thinking about it too, kind of through a feminist lens. So one thing I want to point out that stood out to me is how From Beyond really seems like it is intentionally inverting the power dynamic that appeared in Reanimator, which I know we didn't really talk about Reanimator much, but in that one,
true, yeah.
But in this one, Crampton is the one who plays the mad young doctor pushing boundaries, while Combs is playing the part of the vulnerable co-ed calling for restraint.
Right.
So that I'm just pointing that out there, that if you haven't seen Reanimator, you don't realize that, but it's also something that may not necessarily be apparent on the first watch through either, because you're just so knocked over by like all of the weird sex monsters from Dimension 9, and all of the KY jelly and the phallic fingers and all I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. So I wouldn't blame if people didn't notice that, but really the power dynamic is inverted, and it's the young woman who has the power and is pushing past boundaries.
Right.
Now, the other point that I want to point out here too is that in the research I was doing historically on this film, Stuart Gordon really had to push against studio execs who objected to casting Barbara Crampton as Catherine McMichaels because they thought she was, and I'm quoting here, too young to be believable as a psychologist.
Oh, really?
Which she was, 27 or 28 years old at the time? Nobody would have batted a fucking eye had McMichaels been some male wunderkind. Just want to point that out. Right. So, yes, absolutely hearing what you're saying. I wanted to throw that out for consideration to think about, as a redeeming point behind it.
I'd just like to say, as a feminist, that I have nothing to add on this point. I'm listening.
When you also hope, and Andrea, both when you mentioned about the professional Dr. Block, right?
Yeah.
That's, as I think I mentioned earlier, that's Carolyn Purdy Gordon. That's Stuart Gordon's wife.
Oh, yeah.
And even though she's one of the primary antagonists, she is still a woman in a strong position of authority. She's that hospital's chief of medicine.
Right.
And that is not even common now.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that brain teaser they used to tell. The man and his son get into an accident and they go to the hospital, the ambulance takes them to the hospital, and the surgeon comes out and says, I can't operate on this child. It's my son. He's my son. And everyone's like, well, how can that be? I'm like, oh, the surgeon was his mom.
Right.
And that was like a plot twist at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
But recently I heard that told to a kid, and they're like, oh, the surgeon was his other dad.
Well, the other thing I want you to think about is the fact that she refuses, in this role, like she's in a dominant role, but she's totally non-sexual. There is nothing sexual about Dr. Block in any of her interactions with anybody. Catherine McMichaels, Barbara Crampton's character, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But Dr. Block, there's nothing sexual about her at all. She's very professional. She also refuses to fulfill the other role that sexism demands, which is that of the mother nurturer. She's not mothery. She's not nurtury. She refuses to fulfill either of those roles. She voices serious and totally reasonable concerns about her colleagues' professional conduct and isn't shy about expressing those concerns strongly. And she's even seen vehemently and rationally pushing back against a male authority, which is the chief inspector of police and one of the most powerful roles in society, both then and now. She is not backing down in the face of this male cop telling her, you ought to do it this way.
I will say one problem I find with the character, though, going around those tropes is they do play up Dr. Block's supposedly really jealous of Barbara Crampton's character.
I don't see that at all.
Yeah, and to the point where, like, when she finally does, like, you know, fall from grace, she has no problem with, like, shoving her right into the electroshock therapy to essentially fry her brain and, you know, saying all this, like, yeah, your father was a lunatic too, and coming off as very, you know.
Yeah, she does have a break of professional decorum. Absolutely, yes, I will give you that. But
we're the only two women in this cinematic universe, so obviously we hate each other.
It really fell into that. I felt
perfect. It isn't perfect. I just wanted
Professor Andrea, let me just check. I think what you were trying to get at, or my sense of from what you were saying, is like it starts off strong.
No, it absolutely starts strong. The disappointment for me is the way McDaniels, or whatever her name is, the second Barbara Crampton's character,
Catherine McMichael.
The way she just has like this total fall. I mean, it's not just even just the scenes with the monster. I mean, the whole BDSM thing. It's just like, I'm like, really? Come on, movie.
Yeah. That's what I mean. All I'm saying here is that
it does come ultimately to the same sexist tropes that a lot of these films have.
Exactly.
With Dr. Crampton, then in the rivalry between the two of them.
Yeah.
Right. Like Hope was. So it does start off strong. But then
No, it starts incredibly strong, which is why it's such a letdown.
Well,
the way it is.
I guess what I'm getting at is you should grade this movie on a curve, because it does have some examples of feminism into it, but it has really strongly misogynistic elements. But again, because of the genre that it is, mid-'80s exploitation horror, it juxtaposes elements, you know, that are out of character for both the era and genre and how feminist they are. But they get kind of buried under all the semi and non-consensual sexy times and body horror and ooze, and it's what I'm saying is it's not as vile as a lot of its contemporaries, and you should grade it on a curve. That's all I'm saying.
I suppose I'd have to grant it
not
that,
perfect,
but it still does not save it from Cinemania.
It is vile, as really vile on so many other ways. So, you know, it's still there. It is still definitely a vile movie, and I applaud it for that.
And because of all of that, I must find this film guilty.
Inquisitor Ethan, your judgment.
Well, okay, production notes have kind of become my judgment specialty. So, you know, doing research into the history of a given film. So here, I want to give you a couple of things to consider. So I just want to also say, like, I just don't want to sound like I'm stepping on your take, Andrea. These are some things that came up in my research of the film, and I was like, oh yeah, this will be kind of cool if somebody, you know, like.
It's okay, Inquisitor Ethan. I know you're a feminist.
Thank you. Well, all right. So, From Beyond is an American-Italian co-production in the grand tradition of low-budget, freaky-as-fuck cinema from the 80s.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah. So you were wondering where they shot it. They shot it just outside Rome on a soundstage originally constructed by Dino De Laurentiis, but one that had been seized for tax reasons. And the reason they shot it.
Oh my God! Every single one of these just keeps adding to the on-brandness of this being an Italian production.
Oh yeah. Well, the reason they shot it there was for financial reasons, and Stuart Gordon is reported to have said that by making the film in Italy, it held costs down to about $2.5 million US. But if he'd made it in the United States, production would have been more like $15 million. So like almost the Ghostbusters.
Right.
Shooting abroad allowed him to produce a second film concurrently with From Beyond, which was another goofball horror feature called Dolls.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah. So DGA would like a word with Stuart Gordon. You're not supposed to direct 2 films at the same time. That is a big union no-no.
Right.
Even though Steven Spielberg fucking did it with E.T. and Poltergeist. He just
Right.
had the sense to have a sock puppet director credited for one of those so he could keep his DGA card.
Why? Why is that a no-no?
You're supposed to dedicate yourself to direct 1 feature film at a time. You're not supposed to. Yeah.
Okay.
It has to.
It's like me saying I'm teaching 2 classes.
Yeah,
at the same time,
it's
and
a
you
big
can't
union
both.
no-no, and it's supposed to keep directors from being exploited by studios.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so incidentally, I also want to throw this out. Stuart Gordon and Brian Yuzna went on to write the family favorite film Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, really?
For Disney. And they would have directed/produced it as a team if Stuart Gordon hadn't suffered an illness that required him to withdraw. So they had someone else do it, but they did write it.
That movie does have some
I
amount
thought
of
you were gonna
body
say
horror.
They were going to let him do it, but then they saw this film.
And also, as I mentioned, this is the second of Stuart Gordon's H.P. Lovecraft adaptations, the first 3 of which, so Reanimator, From Beyond, and Castle Freak, all featured both Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs.
Castle Freak.
Yes.
Oh, my God, that movie.
And while From Beyond is definitely not as gory and as blood-spattered as Reanimator, it ups the stakes for the really gooey weirdness and freaky sexy times, which I find particularly funny because Lovecraft reputedly suffered from coitophobia, which is a fear of sexual intercourse.
Oh, well, that is.
Which totally on brand for H.P. Lovecraft. That dude is terrified of fucking everything, even basic human needs.
Right.
I don't know. He was terrified of fucking anything.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that he did like.
Speaking of sexy times, there is an unrated cut of this film somewhere out there for those who are brave enough to seek it.
Oh, God.
Other things that you might find funny is both Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert gave this film mildly positive reviews.
Really?
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, the Ebert even went on specifically to equate Stuart Gordon with Roger Corman, and saying he was from the same tradition of Hollywood horror directors who really try, and that says a lot to me.
Okay, yeah, all right. I'll give that to
Trying
him.
isn't the same as succeeding, though.
Yeah, true.
You can
Really
tell.
trying.
You can really tell the difference, though, in like a really bad horror movie where the director just phoned it in,
Yes.
as opposed to someone who is trying to get the best. I mean, that's one of the reasons why.
775 Ive, yeah.
Yeah, but I was also just thinking, I think that's why like Plan 9 and all of Ed Wood's stuff kind of holds up to watching because there's just an enthusiasm.
Yeah, there's definitely an enthusiasm
Yeah.
here. And I think that enthusiasm really excellently adapts From Beyond for cinema, which otherwise the short story is very sedentary. It's basically a couple of dudes sitting in chairs talking the whole time.
Yeah.
And so I think they did it really well because Lovecraft, which typical for Lovecraft, he suggests some really dynamite ideas but fails to flesh them out and then ends up strangling them on his own purple prose.
Right.
So by excellently...
Lovecraft also had a strong phobia of plot.
He was a vibes author, okay? We know he's a vibes author.
Strangling the purple prose very much sounds like a euphemism.
His vibe was
phobia. That's what he did in private.
Like a pineal probe in the fist of a BDSM screen queen.
Well, by excellently adapted, I mean that Gordon and Yuzna produced a film that contains all of the cosmic horror that a Lovecraft fanatic would expect, but it also somehow manages to include all the horror movie tropes that 80s audiences had also come to expect. And it's very much a product of its time.
Yep.
And it holds up over time as well in that it has great rewatchability.
It was fun to watch, but man,
It's a matter of opinion.
But I will say, the body horror in that, it was extremely well done. Oh my God, there were some scenes in that really gave me the squick.
Well, I just want to say this movie very specifically was inspirational to future cosmic horror filmmakers. We talked about that with Slither. This movie clearly inspired Slither.
Oh, yeah.
And it was also a big inspiration to me. And I can say definitely this film personally afflicted me with Cinemania. As I mentioned, I felt like this was on some TV in the background at every college party I ever attended while I was in film school. And all jokes aside, I both attended and threw a few.
Yeah, I know. We both went.
I know.
Yeah, and it's the reason you bought that van.
But notably,
At
it's
least
one
your
of
van has windows.
Well, I mean, the other thing is, though, too, this is one of the primary inspirations behind my own Lovecraft horror comedy feature film project that almost, but not quite, managed to get off the ground 2 separate times. But the last time I was in the process of trying to get Combs and Crampton to attach when the money dropped out, thanks to COVID. But anyway,
Right.
For all those reasons, I must judge this film guilty.
Now, I do want to ask you, Inquisitor Ethan, though, Do you feel like it would have inflicted you with more or less Cinemania if this film had actually starred Rick Moranis?
You mean
That
Rick
I would pay to
Moranis?
see.
No, I don't think I could picture Rick Moranis in the Jeffrey Combs role. I really don't. I think only Jeffrey Combs could have played that role.
Space worms.
What if it was a musical?
Honey, I shrunk your pineal gland.
If only.
A musical, Little Shop of Peniels. Sorry.
It's shrinkage.
Yeah, well, we know that's the shop where they bought the leather fetish gear.
Right. Little shop.
The Disney shop?
No, they bought it from a place called the Pleasure Chest.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's
in the
right.
credits.
It's in the credits.
Well, with that, I think we are all unanimous in that this film should be condemned, and I hereby judge it guilty.
Hey, guys, pardon the interruption, but I just saw Sensei Steve in the back. He's getting changed in the locker room.
We must conclude this conclave and retreat to our lair in the mat storage room. Anticipating this urgent need, I have built a little fort.
Out of the mats? I like the way you think.
I'm not going to leave that cardboard duck blind in the windows. Sensei Steve wouldn't like that. I don't like that, and I was the one using it.
Yeah, Sensei Steve says always leave the McDojo clean enough that it can be turned into a fast service restaurant for tax purposes. He's so full of these great lessons. I'm learning so much. And on that subject, what did we even learn from this movie?
Isn't it obvious?
Sorry, I know this is not what you were expecting at all, but I just don't get it.
Look, it's a simple story. Girl meets boys and joins them in a windowless panel van to visit a second location. Boy discovers sex dungeon, girl discovers the joys of resonating, and no one thinks it's weird to strip down to skivvies and take a nap. Girl resonates boy develops prehensile, penile, pineal proboscis, and then the space jellyfish attack. What more do you want?
Truly a tale we all grew up on, told time and again through the ages. It's all about the resonations, baby.
Speaking of that, what are we going to do about the resonator? We can't just leave it here in the middle of the dojo floor.
Fine, I'll move it.
Shit. Dude.
Oh, no!
Dude, most of this resonator is Alyssa's DJ equipment. I knew that was a disco ball when I saw it before.
Well, I had to start with something. God damn it. The reservoir and the hazer split, and now I'm soaked.
Is that bad?
Only if you don't want to spend the next 12 to 18 hours talking to God or some other godlike substance.
Wait, what's in the hazer fluid?
I mean, I don't know the exact mixture, but I do detect the odors of ketamine and raw ether and just a soupçon of DMT.
What kind of parties is Alessa DJing?
That would explain why we all got so paranoid every time the resonator was turned on.
I have seen the space eels. I have witnessed the cosmic bacteria. They say hello.
Well, looks like he's off to voyage in realms beyond this dimension. Better leave him to it.
Here, someone help me drag him back to the mat storage room.
I'll help.
Oh,
He's going to be down for the count for a while.
the universe is an inverted reflection of a reindeer teardrop. Moneo! Time is a carpet made of jam!
Who's Moneo?
Never mind all that. We've got a problem. Andrea's no longer willing to spy on the doppelgangers.
You're damned skippy, I'm not.
And since the resonator's out of order,
Was it ever really in order? I mean, really?
I am the reptile lord. I have a castle made of hair.
Oh, Lord.
we no longer have a way to keep an eye on the doppelgangers, and it is absolutely vital that we not lose track of their doings. Perhaps if we had some sort of nefarious yet utterly expendable acolyte.
Someone who could traverse the world outside unsuspected and do our bidding.
A cat's paw, if you would, who could observe and report for us.
A sort of Renfield of Cinemania, so to speak.
Someone who could run to the store for vodka and popsicles, because I'm sure as shit not gonna go get them myself.
Why are you all looking at me like that?
The Cinemania Society was written, produced, and performed by Ethan Ireland, Andy Slack, Daniel Scribner, Hope Bravo, Andrea Palladino, and Zachariah Burks. Featuring special guest Matt Dahlberg. Editing and sound design by Ethan Ireland. Music by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. Incidental music and sound effects courtesy of Epidemic Sound. The Cinemania Society is a work of fiction. Unless otherwise indicated, all the names, characters, businesses, places, events, and incidents appearing in this audio play are either the product of the author's imagination or are used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living, dead, or living dead, or actual events is purely coincidental and or part of a work of parody that should not be construed as making statements or allegations of actual fact. All celebrity voices are impersonated, unless otherwise stated. The Cinemania Society is available on social media. You can reach us on Facebook, Instagram, or Blue Sky, and our Reddit feed is at r/The Cinemania Society. Or you can just email us at thecinemaniasociety.gmail.com. You, yes, you listening right now, please take a second to drop us a line at any of those places, but particularly at Gmail, because not only are we dying for an excuse to do a listener mail episode, we'd genuinely love to hear from you.